I never imagined I'd become that woman, the one who wandered, who crossed boundaries that should never be crossed. I had always seen myself as the devoted wife, the mother who held everything together. But here I was, standing at a turning point in my life, staring down a road I never intended to walk. My name is Jenna. I'm 42 years old, married to my high school sweetheart, Mike. We had been together for over 20 years and had 2 wonderful kids, both now in their teenage years. From the outside, we seemed to have it all: a beautiful home, financial stability, and a life many admired. But inside, I felt invisible, like a shadow drifting through my own existence. Mike was a great father, but over the years, the spark between us faded. He was always occupied with work, chasing promotions, while I managed the household and juggled the kids' schedules. We barely connected anymore. The nights once filled with laughter and intimacy had turned into routine dinners and tired conversations about bills and responsibilities. I craved connection, for someone to truly see me, to acknowledge me. Then came Darius, Mike's childhood friend, recently released from prison and struggling to rebuild his life. He was the complete opposite of Mike, rough around the edges, charismatic, and bursting with energy. He had a magnetic pull, and I found myself drawn to him. It was thrilling, intoxicating. He was damaged, yet somehow still so full of life. For the first time in years, I felt alive. It started innocently enough. Darius would visit our home to catch up with Mike, sharing stories about his time in prison like they were war tales. They'd reminisce while I sat on the edge of the couch, listening, trying to be part of it, but I felt like an outsider in my own life. I wanted to belong, to be a part of something bigger. I was desperate for attention and affection, things I wasn't receiving at home. One evening, after Mike had gone to bed, Darius stayed behind to help me with some home repairs. We were alone, and as we worked, I felt an undeniable spark between us. The air was thick with unspoken tension. I was nervous but exhilarated. I could feel his gaze on me, and when our eyes met, my heart pounded. "Jenna, you're amazing," he said, his voice laced with sincerity. Those simple words reignited something within me. I had forgotten what it felt like to be appreciated. As weeks passed, Darius and I began spending more time together. Secret encounters in the kitchen when Mike wasn't around, stolen glances that lingered just a second too long. I convinced myself it was harmless, just 2 friends reconnecting. But deep down, I felt the darkness creeping in. Then one fateful night, everything changed. Mike had taken the kids to a school event, leaving Darius and me alone in the house. The air between us crackled with tension. Every nerve in my body was on edge. We laughed, we joked, but soon the laughter faded into a heavy silence. "Jenna, I can't pretend anymore," Darius murmured, his voice low and intense. My heart pounded as I searched his eyes for an escape, but all I found was desire, a longing I hadn't felt in years. In a moment of weakness, I leaned in, and then he kissed me. It was a kiss filled with desperation, with everything I had been missing. I felt alive, yet at the same time, a heavy weight settled in my chest. I had crossed a line I could never undo. I pulled away, my breath shaky. "Darius, we can't do this. I'm married." "I know," he said. His eyes locked onto mine with an intensity that made me feel like I was the only person in the world. "But are you happy, Jenna? You deserve more than this." His words echoed in my mind, igniting an internal battle. I didn't want to be this woman. I didn't want to hurt Mike or shatter my family. But the thrill of being wanted, of feeling alive again, was overpowering. For weeks, I wrestled with my choices. I told myself it had been just one mistake. But my encounters with Darius became more frequent. Each time, I felt myself sinking deeper, entangled in a web of deception. I tried to distance myself, but I craved his touch, his attention. One evening, when the guilt became unbearable, I reached out to Darius, desperate for that rush, the intoxicating feeling of being desired. I met him at a bar, my heart racing with both anticipation and shame. I knew I was playing with fire, but the high of being wanted felt like an addiction I couldn't shake. "Jenna," he said, his voice smooth, almost seductive. "I've missed you." His touch sent shivers down my spine. And for a fleeting moment, I let everything else fade away. The guilt, the pain, the consequences. We spent the night wrapped in each other, but in the back of my mind, the weight of my choices loomed like a shadow, refusing to let me forget. When I returned home, my heart was heavy. Mike was sitting on the couch, watching me with a mixture of hope and unease. "Where were you?" he asked softly, his eyes searching mine for answers. I opened my mouth to speak, but the words wouldn't come. How could I explain the storm of emotions inside me? The lingering taste of Darius's kiss was a cruel reminder of what I had chosen over the man who had loved me for so long. "Jenna," Mike pressed, his voice laced with concern, "you're scaring me." I sank down beside him, feeling small, vulnerable. I don't know how to fix this, Mike," I finally admitted. My voice trembled as I spoke. "I feel so lost. I've made mistakes. Serious mistakes." Mike ran a hand through his hair, frustration etched on his face. "You've been seeing him, haven't you? You can't keep running back to him." I swallowed hard, my eyes brimming with tears. "I know," I whispered, "but he makes me feel alive." I thought I could just have a taste of that, a fleeting moment of escape from all this. I gestured around us at the house that now felt suffocating. "But you don't need him to feel alive, Jenna. You have a life here, a family," Mike said, his voice rising with emotion. "We can fix this. You can come back to me." "Can I?" I asked, bitterness creeping into my tone. "Can I really after everything?" Silence settled between us, thick with tension. Mike's expression softened, and I could see the pain carved into his features. "I want to understand. I want to help you," he said gently. "But you need to let me in." I sighed, my heart aching. "I don't even know if I can. Part of me is terrified that I've ruined everything beyond repair. I never meant to hurt you. I trusted you, Jenna," he murmured, his voice barely above a whisper. "I thought we were in this together." A crushing wave of guilt crashed over me. I hadn't just betrayed Mike. I had betrayed everything we had built. I felt like I was teetering on the edge of a cliff, unsure if I had the strength to step back. "Mike, I can't keep lying to you. I care about you. But Darius, he makes me feel seen," I admitted, my voice raw with emotion. "You've been so focused on work and providing that I started to feel like I didn't matter." The words spilled out like a dam breaking, and once I started, I couldn't stop. "Do you want him, Jenna? Is that it?" Mike's gaze bore into mine, searching for the answer he dreaded. I hesitated, the weight of my choices pressing down on me. "I want to feel loved, Mike. I want to feel like I'm more than just a mother or a wife. I need to feel alive, not just survive." "Then let's find a way to do that together," he said, his voice unsteady. "I want you to feel that way too, but not with him. Please, Jenna, don't let him take you away from me." His sincerity hit me hard. I saw the love we had shared, the years of commitment and friendship. It was difficult to reconcile that with the pain I had caused, but I could feel something shifting inside me. "I don't want to lose you," I said, my voice breaking. "But I don't know how to fix this." "One step at a time," Mike said softly. "I'll make time for us. We can go out, just the two of us, like we used to. We can talk, reconnect. You don't have to go through this alone." I wanted to believe him, but fear twisted in my stomach. Could I really go back? Could we truly heal after this betrayal? But deep down, I knew I had to try. For my family, for the love we had once shared. As the days turned into weeks, Mike and I slowly navigated the rocky terrain of our relationship. We went on dates, spoke openly about our feelings, and gradually began to understand each other again. It wasn't easy. There were nights filled with tears, moments of anger, and deep conversations about our fears and hopes. But we started peeling back the layers that had built up over the years, revealing the raw emotions we had buried beneath routine and obligation. One evening, we sat outside as the sun set, casting a warm glow over the backyard. I turned to Mike and really looked at him. The lines on his face told stories of hard work and sacrifice, but his eyes held both pain and hope. "I know I messed up," I said quietly, "but I want to make this work. I want to find my way back to you." A flicker of relief washed over his face. "We can do this, Jenna. I'm not giving up on us." But Darius still lingered in the back of my mind. I knew that if I truly wanted to rebuild my marriage, I had to cut ties completely. With trembling hands, I picked up my phone and typed out a message. "Darius, we need to talk. I can't see you anymore." I hit send, my heart pounding. It felt like a final goodbye, a weight lifting from my chest. Moments later, my phone buzzed with his reply. "Are you sure about this? You are really choosing him over me?" His words stung, and for a brief moment, doubt crept in. But then I remembered the pain I had caused, the love that Mike and I still had, buried but not lost. I have to. It's not just about me anymore. I put my phone down, determined not to look back. Instead, I focused on rebuilding what I had broken. Mike and I started small, long walks, cooking dinner together, reigniting the bond we once had. We even went to couples therapy, learning how to communicate better and address the issues that had pushed us apart. One evening, as we cooked dinner together, I felt something shift. Mike was cracking jokes, his laughter filling the kitchen, and for the first time in a long while, I felt warmth return to my heart. "Remember when we made that terrible stir-fry?" he asked, a sparkle in his eyes. I laughed, a genuine, unguarded laugh. "Yeah, and we still ate it because we were too stubborn to admit it was awful." He grinned, and in that moment I realized something. He was still here. We still had a chance. And I was ready to fight for it.